When I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
Put my hat up.
I'm South Carolina, so I just.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Done.
And that'll be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it for all the more.
Letting His glory shine through. That'll be you, that'll be me, that'll be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. All right, all right, all right. So I just want to take a moment and thank the heroes in our community. Now, I'm not talking about the superstar celebrities worth millions and millions of dollars. I'm not talking about actresses or actors or singers or dancers. I'm talking about the real heroes in our community. You know who they are? They are the men and women who get up every day and go out there and bust their butts at a 9 to 5. You are our heroes, and we salute you. So thank you for your service. Today's guest is Mr. Michael Randolph, all the way. Well, he's from Sandtown, but he left us a long time ago. I was going to say betrayed us, but I'm not going to say that. Michael Randolph.
Thank you, Danny. Let me first off start off by saying, man, thank you. Your show gives me an opportunity to get so much knowledge. That's why I keep coming back to your show. Your guests are very informative. I appreciate the fact that you have done what you've done out of Sandtown. Too many of us have not made it. So I appreciate being on this show today. To be quite candid, I started plotting this being on your show in 2019. I said, eventually, I'm going to be one of the guests on this show, and I'm going to keep on coming back. And that's the word I want to give to folks, man. Keep coming back. If you see something you want, keep coming back, and you'll get there.
Flattery will get you everything, Michael Randolph. What do you do?
Well, I'm with the Center for Nonprofit and Community Development. And what we do is two parts. First, we do nonprofit development. We work with nonprofits in terms of building them to capacity. There are two types of nonprofits. Like, you have your 501c3. I'm sure you're familiar with that. They call them beggars. And then you have what's known as the most recent type of nonprofit, which is called an L3C, or a low profit limited liability company, in which you can be a nonprofit and a business at the same time. I'm really excited about that type of nonprofit. The other thing I do is community development and working in some of your most distressed neighborhoods and putting together strategy to transform those communities. Because those are two key things that I do, nonprofit and community development. And I've gotten a lot of training in that particular respect, especially out of Sandtown, when they had all these different folks from around the world to come, Harvard, Yale. That's where I got my knowledge from. That's where I got my understanding of community development, and that's what gave me an opportunity to come to Tampa and to use that knowledge and make it real.
So tell us about Tampa. For those of us, Baltimore is 63% black, 73% black and brown. Sandtown, probably 99% black. I mean, we do have some, a few white people here, but we're in the most segregated city in America going back to 1910. It's a port city. We are big on community here, whether you're from the black community or the white community. We love our Ravens and we love our Orioles. So tell me about Tampa.
Well, Tampa, a lot of neighborhoods in Tampa reflect Sandtown, reflect Baltimore. For example, one of the areas I'm working out is the West Tampa area, which is a large percent of black. Out of a large percent of black in the area that I work in, but we're in an area that we only represent 8%. So you can imagine how hard it is to fight to make sure that African Americans get a voice at the table, and we have gotten a voice at that table because we believe that if you're not at the table, then the table is talking about you. So we negotiate with public and private sector to bring together different types of deal to make it work. In general, Tampa is okay until we get to the governor, but generally speaking, it's okay. We have like hot weather almost all year round. You can appreciate that. Some good people here. I've met some good people here. So what else can I say about Tampa? But those are some of the things I
The
can.
Democratic city.
It is. It is. It is. Like
But you're in a Republican state.
Democratic. I'm sorry. What was that?
You're a Democratic city, but you're in a Republican state.
Yes. Yes. And unfortunately, all of the things that Tampa wants to do, we can't do because the governor comes in and say you can't. For example, rent control. That's a no-no in Tampa. In Florida, although Tampa was going towards that, and then the governor say no way. No, no, determine what the rent should be in the state. So pretty much he governs the state.
So you didn't vote for Ron DeSantis.
Oh no, no way. Nah, I didn't. Because he's another Trump personality, if you will.
Michael, do you understand how Donald Trump is walking around free, but people like Marilyn Mosby and Fannie Willis are going through such craziness with the legal system?
I can understand because he awoken that super racist majority in our country when he ran for office. Those folks that was quiet, they did their racism behind closed door. And when he was elected, they came out in big numbers, the good old boys and what have you. And that's why he's in popularity. What he is right now, it shows the racism that's in that's in the United States.
How does that make you feel?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
How does it make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel that black people have always worked from the bottom up. So it makes me feel that we even have to work even harder. But to be quite candid, man, I don't like the Democrats or the Republicans. That's why I'm an independent. I don't like either party because either party is going to do really what we need to do. Only us as a people can do what we need to do from the bottom up. Work together. We got $1.7 trillion. It's a shame why we shouldn't be up there in terms of economic development. And the reason why we not, because we're taught to be consumers. We watch over 40 hours of commercials a day as black people. That's
I don't watch no
40%
damn
more.
40 hours worth of commercial. I wish I did. How you watch 40
Well,
hours?
you
It's only
don't.
20. It's only 24 hours in a day. How am I gonna watch 40 hours?
I'm sorry, a week. My mistake.
Oh, okay,
I'm glad you
okay.
clarified. We watch 40 hours a week in commercials, and we become wired to wanting to be consumers.
Wow.
That's a problem.
Wow. So Tampa is majority black. So what do y'all do there? You can't watch football all year long. I mean, you watch sports? Is it entertainment, or you go
Well,
outside, you
Tampa
go
Bay
gardening or
Buccaneers,
rollerblading?
yeah, they got a lot of sports here, but they love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They love them. Tampa is a sports city. I mean, we definitely love sport here. But I think that what's most important about Tampa is that we pay no sales taxes. We pay no, I mean, no, we pay no taxes here in Florida. Unlike most states, where so you have to pay taxes in Baltimore, we pay no taxes here. So that's one of the things why a lot of businesses come here, and especially individuals come here because you pay no taxes.
You pay taxes sooner or later everywhere.
Huh?
Sooner or later, you pay taxes everywhere.
Yeah, well, you can when we get another Democratic governor, but right now this man is cutting taxes for the rich. He's cutting tax for the rich, and
Why y'all vote for him? Why? How did the people vote for him? And where's the opposition?
I think that, to be quite candid, people view the Democratic Party as a party that's not for them, that's not doing anything for them, and not advocating for them. Now, keep in mind, Donnie, if you're a business in Florida, you're good to go. It's just that if you're poor in Florida, you're not. So yeah, you're good to go in terms of that. He's constantly reducing the taxes that businesses pay. So it's a good place to come to if you're a business. Not if you're poor and black though.
So, Michael, tell me about the average client that you work with.
Well, my client is focused towards black females. Let me give you some numbers. Only 12% of nonprofits that's ran by black operate full-time. 67% of whites do. Most of the nonprofits, at least,
Is that there in
make
Florida?
anywhere.
You talking about in Florida?
No, generally speaking, this is nationally speaking.
Say that again.
That only 12% of nonprofits that are black operate employees that are full-time. 67% of white organizations operate nonprofits that are white.
Okay,
So
are you
that's a difference
surprised by that?
between
I mean, when you look at the two situations, it's not like they
right,
started off on even footing, Michael.
right. But
Are you
that's what the numbers
surprised?
are.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, I was. When I ran across those numbers, I was very surprised. I think this is coming out of what organization did this? I know it's a very popular. I think it was a news station that provided this type of data, and I was real surprised. But I wasn't because 87% of my clients are black females. 80% are struggling to make it. So it makes sense. You're more likely not to be funded if you're a black female than if you're a black male or a white female or a white man. Now,
Listen,
added to that,
I'm surprised by that because black women nationally are breaking records. Black women
they are
nationally are starting businesses.
on the for-profit side of the table. But when you come back over to the nonprofit side of the table, Donnie, it's different. I read an article that black females on the for-profit side of the table is the fastest growing group in the United States. But if you look at the nonprofit side of the table, and you probably know a lot of black females that run nonprofits, and you're gonna find that the majority of them are making less than 30,000, and even more, the majority of volunteers out there. So that's
So
why I decided to
what can
focus
you
on
help
that
them
group.
do? What can you help them do, Michael?
Infrastructure. A lot of nonprofits don't have that infrastructure. They don't know what is it that I need in order to make it. They think you open your door up and that's it. And we teach them how to build infrastructure. For example, how to do grant and grant development. We teach them how to do strategic plan, tactical plan. We teach them how to do all those things necessary to put them in the same boat as their other folks. Most times, small nonprofits got good ideas, but they don't have that infrastructure. So when they don't have their infrastructure, they can't compete. So when it comes to money from the government, they can't compete. And they can't compete for the simple fact that there are certain things and guidelines that you have to have in place that they don't teach black people. I wasn't supposed to be taught what I taught. I was taught by the elite. I was not supposed to be taught this. But God did teach me, and I come back to the black community and teach it to the black community. Danny, I was supposed to be working for a corporation, making big money. I was enticed by the Enterprise Foundation to come and work for them. I'm on my did a deal in Baltimore. I said, I won't come work for you, but I do consultant work for you. And that's when I came to Sandtown and put together a plan for Sandtown. As you know, they never followed through with that plan because I was teaching Sandtown to be independent and not dependent on anybody. Because once you're dependent, you can go to the bank yourself, the corporation yourself, and you don't need that middleman. That middleman always come in, do what they do, and the community is left the same. In West Tampa, that whole narrative changed. Because we at the table with banks. We at the table with government. We at the table where those folks that's got the money, we're at that same table and working with them. Our most recent project is a technology, wealth building, and job creation center. That's going to change the whole narrative when it comes to blacks working in Tampa and around the country. Technology, man, we lacking technology as a group. You know, when I seen on your show, artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, but the most important is the Web3. The Web3 changes the whole narrative when it comes to competing. As you
How
know,
so?
Web1 and Web
How so?
well, Web1 and Web2 was by your familiar companies like Facebook, LinkedIn, and all those major companies. What the Web3 does is decentralize that. It changes the whole narrative. And I think you got a person on here, I forgot his name. He always come on and he's doing a lot of things when it comes to the mega world. He understands the Web3 initiative and how it changes the whole narrative when it comes to that. Now we can compete with those other folks that traditionally has blocked out the market because now the Web3 is decentralized. So those companies like Google, those companies like Facebook, Lincoln, all those major companies that used to be there, now they have to share with the rest of us.
Wow. What is it that
If
you
I
want
don't get
people?
across anything else, I want black people to understand the Web3 takes us to a different category. You got your blockchain, you got crypto, you got all these new different types of ways that we can actually definitely bring money to the table, unlike any time before. You got a young
Wow.
person that's on Baltimore right now selling drugs. With the Web3, that person can learn how to do application, making millions of dollars. So many initiatives that can be done with the Web3.
So what is it you want people to do, Michael?
Well, first of all, I want them more importantly to understand artificial intelligence, how it's taking over this world. More importantly, I want them to understand how artificial intelligence can change the narrative when it comes to poor community. I'll give you an example. A person that wants to get skill sets, you can go to artificial intelligence and they can learn you any skills that you need to learn.
Is that good?
It's real good because traditionally, Donnie, let's say, for example, if I'm John Doe, I don't know how to work on resume to no resume. I can go to artificial intelligence and say, look, my name is such and such. I have this many years and what I'm doing, create me a resume. Bang. I use artificial intelligence all the time. Whenever I produce anything, I produce it, then I send it through artificial intelligence, and I say make it look better. And it does. I went to artificial intelligence one time, Danny, and I said, create me a business plan. And I gave them particular, and Danny, I do business plan. And that business plan they created was better than mine.
Of course it
It was
was.
definitely
And
better than mine.
faster. It didn't take long.
Huh?
It didn't take long.
And it didn't take long. You familiar with that? It didn't. It did not. It changes the whole narrative. That guy that's on the corner right now, Pennsylvania and Gold. That guy that's on the corner, man, Gilmore or whatever. I want you to hear this. If you're in the streets, this changes the whole narrative. You don't have to be selling drugs now. That's over 100,000 ways that you can make money in the streets. But most importantly, you got to move from a consumer to an investor. What do I mean? Instead of buying those pair of shoes for $150, invest that $150 in that company and it come back to you. You
Mike,
don't have enough money? No problem.
Mike, what about the young people? Where do the young people? A lot of times in our communities, we got babies, we got young babies. Some of us have grandchildren we're taking care of. What role do the babies play? And at what point do we start training the young people? Too often I'm seeing young people who cannot read.
Changes the narrative, especially for young people. Young people are more technologically familiar with what's going on than we are. And unfortunately, they only using it for entertainment. Once they use it for starting their own business, you can do it. And I want to say this again to the people that's on the corner. With artificial intelligence and GPT, you can start your own business. Look, it's $1.7 trillion that we make as Black people. Buying Black is a way to get back to where we need to go at. So that young person on the corner, and you think you're slick, you're making money. I understand I used to be on those corners, but guess what? Every time you're making that money, you're giving it to the white man when he lock you up and take everything. So, and that's what he don't want you to do. He don't want you to think like a person that can start their own business, and you can.
So, Mike, you come from Sandtown, and so you've seen drug dealing. Is it worse there in Tampa? Is the lure of the streets even stronger on Black people?
Every place I go, Doni, Tampa, Baltimore, it's the same old when it comes to drugs. It might be different types of drugs. Like I know up in Baltimore, it's a lot of heroin and crack, and down here in Florida, it's cocaine and things of that nature. But it's still the same, no matter where you go. And it's not by chance. As you know, the drugs was bought here in this country. And one of the reasons why I was bought here first to make money, and then to destroy the Black community. So yeah, it's
What
pretty
are they saying about President?
drugs.
What are they saying about President Biden?
Reaction, man. Believe it or not, Donnie, and I hate to admit this, it's a lot of Blacks down here, men that's going to vote for Donald Trump. You know, and it's only because they have a vested interest. See, they business people, so they're going to vote for him for their own. They're going to vote for him because of their best interest, not because of our people. You know, they know they're here in Florida.
What do you think of that, Mike?
I think that we've lost our way. I think sometimes the greatest thing about us is us ourselves. We stop each other from going where we need to go. We're not collectively working together. We're only interested in our self-interest. And I think that's what is a sad thing about the state of affairs when it comes to especially Black people voting for Trump. And there's been an increase of Black folks that are voting for Trump. More so Black men, Donnie, not Black females.
Why are the Black men voting for this? I mean, that's worse than poor white people voting for Trump. It's against their interests. What is it? I mean, this man is a horrible human being, unless I'm missing something. He looks like a horrible, horrible human being who should be up under a jail. He should be up under a jail. You heard me.
I agree with you 100%. But unfortunately, we tend to do work in our best interest.
I mean, they raking Fannie Willis. Listen, they raking Fannie Willis across the coals like she stole Santa Claus. And then this Trumpster, he's just doing whatever the hell he wants. And I tell you, that white lady prosecutor on Fannie Willis' case, if Fannie Willis catches her outside, Fannie Willis is going to stomp mud holes in that lady.
Oh, for sure. That sister, I love her, man, right? She came straight out, right?
Yeah, but also, Mike, what were they thinking? I mean, damn, didn't you know this was coming? You going after their number one, you going after their golden boy or orange boy. You going after their orange boy. You know they're going to retaliate. Why did you go and do these things? It's like just not smart.
I think if you ask them, they will say somebody had to do it.
Oh, they were
Somebody
set up.
had to step up
They
to
were
the plate.
clearly set up. Oh my God.
Yeah,
What the young people
they
call it,
were.
trapping, they got
Yeah,
trapped.
man, that's all kind of ramifications for going against that man. But then too, man, at the end of the day, their position is somebody had to do it. So these are
Well, not only that, why don't
all,
you go after Trump? If they went after Trump half as much as they went after Fannie, Trump would be
yeah,
locked up. He'd be
yeah,
locked up.
yeah.
They won't let me out.
But that tells you about our country, though, Donnie, doesn't it?
It's some weak,
If you
sad,
black,
scared people who want to hide behind racism, wouldn't
yeah,
bust a grape in a fruit fight, always starting fights that they want to send my children and your children to go and fight. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. You send your children over there. You started the fight, you go finish the fight. I'm not fighting for you.
look, Donnie, I really want to get this in real quick, man, because I'm so proud of you and what you're
You're
doing.
funny.
That's why I keep coming back to your show because I learned so much. I learned about Spring Mind from your show when you was doing your show. I said, "Whoa, I got Spring Mind now. I'm taking it to the next level." And then when you got on your show, when y'all was talking about uh, what is it? What is that? Blockchain and all that. Man, I learned all of that from your show. Every time I do come and see you, Donnie, but I come to see your guests even more, man, because there's so much knowledge on your show. It's like addictive, you know. I hear that clock hit at 9 o'clock. No matter what I'm doing, I say I'm gonna tap in, and I'm not gonna wait till the show's over. If I want to tap in and see who's there, and more importantly, to engage in those conversations. So your show offers that opportunity. But even more importantly, Donnie, you wasn't supposed to make it. We all coming out of Sandtown. We
Yes, I
were
was.
not
I
supposed to
was
make it.
supposed to make it. I rebuke it in the name of the Lord. I don't
Well,
care
you
what the
understand
people
because
say.
of the conditions that was laid out.
Our God
That's
is
why
awesome.
not all of us make it because of the conditions.
Well, there was no question. There was no question in my
Donnie,
mind.
the majority of blacks is coming out of Sandtown don't feel that way. They come out being
We
defeated.
should feel
And
that
this
way.
is
We
why
strong. We
I
strong,
agree
man.
100%. And that's why that's what I love about
What they
you.
say, hammer time. Can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's what I love about you, my brother. That where you come from and where you're going, that you never forgot the regular people. Me, for example, I'm not famous. I do a lot of things to change the narrative. For example, in my work, I've actually provided training to over 2,500 different nonprofits from around the country. I work with getting nonprofits started, at least 350 from around the country. All those things, man, right? But most importantly, Donnie, I'm still regular people like you because I got a mission in life. And that mission in life is black people and empowerment from the bottom up. I really believe that from the bottom. When I'm talking to bankers and these other investors, I let them know. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of knowledge, but I'm still from the streets. I'm still from the hood. So when I'm sitting at this table, I'm representing them in terms of what do we bring back to the community. I've seen a lot of people sell out when they get to that table. I never sold out because I understood that, hey, my family back in Baltimore, my friends back in Baltimore, they still suffering. So I cannot sell out at all. And then God gave me the knowledge that I got. It's like what's that guy that sat behind the door in the White House? He was listening and everything. That's what I did. And I got all my knowledge, right? And they thought I was coming to corporate America. They didn't know I was going to backtrack and go back and teach in poor communities.
Mm-hmm. So what's on your agenda for this year, Michael?
Well, this year, Donnie, I want to take it to a next level because I provide a lot of all kind of training. Now I want to take that training and start putting it on. What is it? What are those major? I want to put it on Amazon. I want to put it on all those places like that where I'm gonna start selling the training. Where you can take my training, but that's a cost that comes with it. I'm taking it to the next level right now, and that's based on years and years of experience and people telling me, "You're so good at what you're doing. Won't you monetize it and create your own type of profit that's coming in?" So finally in 2024, I'm gonna go that route. So you can find me on all those major platforms, and I got like 10 different type of training from nonprofit development to how to get money to how to do a L3C. Donnie, please look up on the L3C. That is the next level of development. With an L3C and act just like a business and a nonprofit, you can bring in money that you can bring in from a 501c3. 501c3, you're poor. You're based on government money and donation. With an L3C, that's a different type of nonprofit. You operate this like a for-profit, but you're doing a nonprofit type of works. That means you can get from the banks what's known as low interest loans.
All
The
right, Michael,
same loan.
as you well can see, because I see we can't give you a microphone. You like a preacher and a lawyer. You ain't gonna give it
My
back. So I
God, man, when I came out,
gotta snatch
I
it
came
back
out
from you.
talking, Donnie.
I know, I
When I came
know, I know, but we gotta go. How can people get in touch
out,
with you,
oh,
Michael
Donnie, I
Randolph?
appreciate it, man. Every day, man, I appreciate you, man. And Donnie, keep doing what you're doing, and the people in Sandtown, I love you. Haven't left like 90 seconds. I'm still well connected to Sandtown from day one.
We got to run
So
you for office. Michael Randolph, you are the best,
thanks a
and we
lot for giving me this
appreciate you
opportunity.
much, Michael Randolph. My man, 500 grand. Dr. Taborn, this man paid homage to you. Salute to you, sir. Salute to you. How many people came to the Black Engineer? Well, it's being everything you are. How many people came out?
Somewhere between 13,000 and 15,000.
And did you meet your projections?
Oh, absolutely. And we exceeded the projections. We want to thank you for holding one of the Welcome Back to Baltimore for Bea, that you held that event. We want to thank so many other people, Reverend Al Hathaway. I mean, it was just a beautiful experience for us to return to our home and be greeted the way we were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because as a Black man in a Black city, we don't see it enough. So I'm glad it happened for you.
Well, and here's the nice thing about it. You had all of these kids or young men and women from colleges throughout the United States of America coming to Baltimore. And I'm going to give a shout out to the Baltimore City Police Department. What a great job they did. You didn't hear any incident in downtown, right? All of these folks were protected. They felt good. And this is what our tax dollars need to be used for. Shalonda and downtown partner, those folks did a great job.
Downtown partnership. Yes, she did.
She did a great job, as well as the my boy Al Hutchinson. So I just have to say, overall, while we have challenges and we have some hiccups, no doubt about that, overall, I was extremely pleased with us coming back to Baltimore.
Oh my God, did you see the Boeing reception? I look around this big, hold up. First of all, you had 2 convention center buildings, not one. You had the whole convention center complex. A Black man, that's all I kept thinking to myself. We walking all the way down to the other building. You muted yourself, Doc. You muted yourself. Unmute your mic. Down the bottom. You unmute yourself. You muted yourself. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. Two buildings. 2 whole big buildings. Are you there?
Well, listen, I cannot hear you for some reason. I hope can you hear me? Well, let me just talk about a couple of things until we figure this out. Yes, Boeing, Lockheed, all of these companies did so much, and they brought hundreds of thousands of dollars into our city, patronizing restaurants and everything else. And that leads me to a big deal that's going on and why I'm back in Baltimore. I said we're coming back home to make a difference, and we are. Number one, we're opening up a training lab for AI in the Thurgood Marshall Amenity Center in West Baltimore, right? So we're doing that. So we will be training kids in metaverse technology. But even more important is tomorrow, there will be a hearing on a bill that we wrote, SB 1087. And let me tell you what this bill is all about. This bill that's being introduced by Curry McCray, Senator, and it's got great write-up already. I think you've seen it. This bill will create a commission to oversee, or at least to give recommendations about how money is being spent with minority groups in the artificial intelligence area. Now, let me tell you why that's such a big deal. Billions of dollars will be spent in the future with metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, quantum computing. And we can complain that we're not part of that later after the fact, or we can get in front of it now. And that's what this bill does. This bill, if it's passed, will create a commission that will give recommendations and oversee how this money's being spent. And so I come from a different train of thought than not that people shouldn't fight and struggle and protest. All of that should happen. But I also think we need to do the smart stuff too, right? Let's get to the table. If they say we're not at the table, let's make ourselves get to the table. So this bill sets us up to be able to hold folks accountable. And I think that if folks should, if they can get to Annapolis tomorrow at 1:00, if they can send written testimony over to Curry's office and tell him they're behind it. But, here's an opportunity for us to change our own future and our own destiny. And we shouldn't, really, Donnie, we shouldn't complain after the fact now when we've got something right in front of us right now, today. Now, let me tell you about these little kids that showed up. Over 2,000 middle and high school kids were able to attend the Bea Conference, Becoming Everything You Are. And this is what I've always said. I'd rather a kid, a young person, my goal is to make sure they show up at Bea and they get a chance to meet an admiral or a general before they meet a drug dealer. I'd rather that they show up and meet a senior officer at IBM or Lockheed or Northrop, an engineer from the Navy or the Marines, before they meet a gang member. I'd rather these young people show up and they're not sold a dream of a basketball, but I can put a keyboard in their hands. That's what I want to do. And that's what is transformational for our community. Now, there's nothing wrong with a basketball in your hand, but you know what? There's a far more keyboards than basketballs. And any of these kids that pick up a keyboard and get a little bit of technical training, they can make salaries ranging from $60,000 to almost $200,000. Now you take in average sports, if a person gets to that area, it's less than 0.5% to even do that. You've got a better chance. You know what? You have a better chance, Donnie. You have a better chance at being the CEO of IBM than you have at being one of these multi-million-dollar sports people, right? Better chance. Longer life, less pain on your body, right? And all of the other good stuff that comes with that. So, if our kids can't see it, they can't be it. And I think that that's what Bea did. So I want to, again, I want to encourage folks to show up. I see that, this is here. This bill, and we really can't talk about, listen, we can't talk about our Black elected officials not doing stuff if we don't support them. And this senator has done a very, very brave thing. Can you imagine? Not only has he introduced the bill, but you also have the financial write-up talking about how solid the bill really is. So I'm just, I'm just ecstatic. Curry is a great person, a great senator, and we just need to show our support.
Good deal. So you can't hear me at all?
I know I still can't hear you, but
Okay.
that's okay. But thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Okay, good deal. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. So there it is, folks. Maryland artificial intelligence bill. Senator Corey McCray tomorrow. We will be in Annapolis at 1 p.m. tomorrow to testify for the very good Dr. Taborn. Of course, he's our fearless leader. Special thanks to Michael Randolph for coming through. Yes, Derek Jones. Derek Jones, my man, 500 grand. Lots of information. We are parlaying. We're getting ready. I tell you, it's a beautiful day. Listen, you can do anything you put your mind to. And on that note, let me do what I'm supposed to do before I hear Charles Robinson come over here beating me up. This is my first book, Unapologetically Black, came out in 2015, looking at how we parlay our politics and our economics. You can have all of the Black elected officials in the world, but if they ain't bringing home no money, it don't make no difference. Pardon the broken English. And this is I Am Black Wall Street. Started in Florida. No matter what they tell you, Black people were here long before 1525, way before 1619. 1619 is late. Actually, we've been in this country for thousands of years. All you got to do is go out there to Las Vegas and look at that Luxor Hotel. And you say, what do these people got a Luxor Hotel? That's from Africa. Why? Because Kincaid's Cave is in Arizona, in the Grand Canyon. What's in Kincaid's Cave? Egyptian artifacts. The world knows it. The Smithsonian knows it, but we don't know it. That's why we have to know our history. We have to know about the 450 mound pyramids found across the United States that they will never tell you about. We need to know that the first Black American in modern times was named Juan Garrido. Where can you read about Juan Garrido? He was a free man. He was a Spanish conquistador. He spoke español. Yo hablo español. Necesito hablar español. We need to also speak French. Parlez-vous français? Oui, je ne sais pas. And we need to speak Swahili. Jambo! You know where those Kwanzaa words come from? Kuji, Chaga, Liga, Nia, Umoja, Imani. We need to incorporate that into our everyday life. Have faith, Imani. Have purpose, Nia. Have Umoja, unity. Kuji Chaga Lia, self-determination, cooperative economics. We need to practice that every day. And that's what Dr. Taborn does. I know metaverse might go over some folks' heads, but the long and short of it is that we are in these spaces. We are in these spaces. Seminole leader John Horse, a Black man. Listen, we think we need to look up. We don't know about slave insurrections because too many of us think, because that's what Hollywood tries to tell us. Oh, Black people just came over here and said, okay. Like when Kanye lost his damn mind talking about slavery was a choice. Well, no damn choice. It was people like Chief John Horse who were fighting. They were strapped. I don't know who told you you came from nothing. They lied to you, son. Don't let me catch no rapper talking about I came from nowhere. Huh? Who told you that? You come from greatness, son. Son, you might not have known about your greatness, but now you know. You came from something humongous, ginormous, a grand legacy that goes back to the beginning of mankind on this planet. Don't let nobody lie to you or tell you that foolishness. Like our history started and ended with slavery. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? We developed pyramids, son. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. We did the quadratic equation. We are the quadratic equation. We are DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. We are RNA, ribonucleic acid. We all that. We the element charts. We all of that. Trigonometry, calculus. We were looking at Sirius B. That's way, 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 way out there. Planet, way out there. Our ancestors were watching it without a telescope. Tell me my people wasn't back. And you gonna tell me we came from nothing. You better go study your history, son. We read in the papers all of this foolishness every day about what our young people doing, and they breaking law. Our young people just need to be challenged. And I say that a lot of us can be in college. Don't tell me, oh, not everybody made for college. Not everybody made to ride a damn dirt bike up the middle of Pennsylvania Avenue with their eyes blindfolded and one hand behind their back. If you could do that, you can sit in one of them classrooms and learn something about math, about division, about subtraction and addition. Got my people thinking that we come from nothing. Are you kidding me? We were on ships long before Columbus lost self, stumbled into the West Indies. And mind you, he wasn't guiding the ship no way. Pedro Nino Alonso was guiding this ship. They've been traveling these airways. You forget about the Moors. Read your history, son. Read about the Moors. They were, when slavery, when the transatlantic slave trade kicked off, 15th, 16th century, you want to look at what was happening just before that. Do you know what was going on? They can't tell you because they don't know. I'm going to tell you what's going on. Blacks dominated the Iberian Peninsula. You hear me talk about it all the time. The Iberian Peninsula is just above Africa. It's Spain and Portugal. We dominated right there. Black people were all up in that mix. All up in that mix. And you can Google this. Coat, like you put a coat on. You can Google coat of arms. And the coat of arms is like the crest that goes on your lapel. Like you see on Tiger Woods, you know, the famous jacket they wear, Wimbledon and all of those, and the tennis jackets and the golf. They got a crest, a coat of arms. And it was kind of like your gang sign. But it was a family code. It was a family sign, family crest. Look up coat of arms, Moors. And you will find that every European nation had black royalty. It was tradition. Germany, England, Scotland, all of them. The French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, they know about the African. The African American, the Moor, they call them Moors. You heard of the Barbary Coast? That's another name for black people, the Berbers. They had all kinds of names for us. But the Moors dominated Spain and Portugal for 800 years, son. See, if they would have told us that in history class, it would have made it more interesting. Had we known that we were teaching the Europeans how to dress, how to make cologne, how to make clothes, you know we were fly. Come on now. We were bringing Olmec heads across the water. These are 2,500-pound stones. All of this greatness that comes out of our lineage, but we were taught that we like our history began and ended with slavery. Did you know that during slavery, blacks were still making inventions? And if you came up with an invention, you could get your freedom if you didn't have some, it's the fact, if you didn't have some white guy stealing your invention, if you could make it to the patent office, you could be free. Tell you another way you can be free. And they never told us this. If you escape to Florida, before the year 1831, you could get your freedom. But they never tell you this in school. They just make it seem like it was Chicken Jaws and Kizzy and Kunta Kinte, and we were happy with that. Come on, man. Stop believing that foolishness and open up a book. Read about the father of Black History Week, Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Read about his book, The Miseducation of the Negro. You think Lauryn Hill came up with that spectacular title all by herself? And she bad. I love my Gemini. She's bad. She is bad. She came up with The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, snatched directly from, and she paid homage, in my best estimation, to Dr. Carter G. Woodson. She wanted us to know our history. Do you know that history? You got to know that history. Because if you don't know the history, they'll pull the same game on you. What Gomer Pyle say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And we keep getting hoodwinked, Black people. Keep buying somebody like somebody else's ice is colder. We were entrepreneurs. We were the baddest of entrepreneurs. Elon Musk, he nice. He nice. He all right. He all right. Warren Buffett, he all right. He all right. He just all right. Let me tell you who was guru when it comes to that Lucci, the bags. The richest man who ever lived. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? You don't know. His name was Mansa Musa, the richest king who ever lived. Y'all done got me excited now. Go drink my water. We got to know our history. We got to teach it to our babies. If we were so excited, you know, I love the Lord. And I even love church. But what kills me is we know more about the Jesus story from 2,000 years ago than our own damn people's history right here. What were we doing 2,000 years ago? Like we weren't on the scene. Like we weren't writing Bible passages and chapters and verses. Hell, we don't even know that Santa Claus was a black man. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Look up St. Nicholas. See where he came from. Look at his complexion and see if he don't look like me. Look at your history. Look up St. Nicholas. He was born in Turkey. You know, white people wasn't giving away nothing. That's always funny to me. Some white people are nice. There's some beautiful white people. And there's some horrible black people. But this country, and I'm in Baltimore, the home of segregation. Don't blame me for racism. Blame you. I didn't do it. I'm just trying to survive and trying to teach my people to survive with some self-pride so we can believe in ourselves. Keep kicking the people and kicking the people. Keep kicking them and kicking them and kicking them and telling them you ain't nothing and your children ain't nothing. Sooner or later, they come to believe that. And I don't want us to believe none of that foolishness. With blood from my ancestors flowing warmly in my veins, I withstand the winds of hatred. I overcome the pains, moving on and growing stronger. In light of all these things, my dreams still relieve me. My heart forever sings. I am the Pharaoh and the prophet, the greatest king of all. My queen, she stands beside me. Always we stand tall. The Gold Coast is my homeland, and blessed is my place, for there isn't a single land that has never seen my face. I am black, and I'm beautiful, a child of Almighty God. I fought as a true soldier against each and every odd. I'm the son of the Madonna and the light of all the world, and my legacy remains for every boy and little girl. I've flown the skies and sailed the seas and built the pyramids to a T. I've taught medicine to those near and far and have flown in spaceships to the stars. The hands of time can never erase my ordained, appointed, and sacred place, for God is with me all the way. I am black and I am beautiful every day. Ashe, and good morning, world.